Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to tell you about 5 Middle Eastern fragrances I cannot wait to wear this fall. So let's just jump right into it. All right, so before we jump into things, I have to level with you guys. I got to be honest. I know I said there's 5 Middle Eastern fragrances, but there's actually 5 in a bonus. So there's 6 because I mean, 5 sounds like a better video title, and there's so many good Middle Eastern fragrances out there. I had a really tough time narrowing it down. I had to rack my brain to make this list, but I promise you there's just some great fragrances in there. We got some sweet ones, we got some oudi ones, we got a tobacco one. Great fragrances. I'm gonna have links down in the description to all these fragrances. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, so kicking things off, we're gonna start with a sweet style fragrance that is one of my absolute favorites from the house. It's just my absolute favorite from like all my Middle Eastern collection when it comes to sweet fragrances, getting tons of hype in the community and deservedly so. It's Afnan's 9 p.m. Now this is a eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this up at discounters for about $25, $40. I'll leave some links down in the description if you do want to check this one out. Now this has been compared to Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultramall. I have worn Ultramall, I've smelled Ultramall numerous times. I currently do not have it in my collection, but I am very familiar with it, and I will say that this is pretty much in that neighborhood for sure. One of the main differences is the Ultramall has a pear note at the top, whereas this one has an apple. And let me tell you, it is a beautiful, beautiful apple in the beginning. Very sweet, juicy style apple mixed with some cinnamon and some lavender in there to give it a little bit of freshness with that little bit of spice. And at the base, you have a warm vanilla tonka amber medley that just elevates the sweetness, and there's just like this masculine edge to it that's absolutely beautiful. If you like sweet style fragrances, you're definitely going to like Afnan's 9 p.m. It's just a gorgeous, well-balanced, smooth, sweet style fragrance. Very fun, playful, flirty, a little on the youthful side, but like I'm of the opinion it doesn't matter what age you are. If you like a fragrance, wear a fragrance. Like, I don't care if you're an older gentleman and you are into sweet fragrances, give this a shot. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, but it does lean on that, you know, youthful, quote unquote, youthful side of fragrances. Like this is a bit of like a club banger fragrance. Like you could definitely wear this to the club and you'd be getting a lot of attention. I mean, I don't go to clubs anymore because I'm getting old and I just don't go to clubs, but like I'd start a dance party in my kitchen with this stuff, and that would be the kind of vibe you get from this. Super fun, super flirty, absolutely deliciously sweet. Performance on this is friggin' monstrous. Like I could not believe how strong this stuff is. In a good way, but like you gotta be very careful with the sprays. Like easy longevity, 10, 12 hours plus. Get some on your clothes, you're gonna smell it till next month. The projection on this for the first like 3-4 hours pushes way out, super hard, super heavy. And even when it does like settle in, it's still like not really like settled in. It still projects pretty big. You're gonna have a nice big scent bubble, nice sillage on this. Performance, absolutely monstrous. I'm telling you right now, 2, maybe 3 sprays, you're good to go for the day. If you overdo it, you're gonna fill a room, you're gonna choke people out, you're gonna make people angry, because as beautiful as this smells, no one wants to choke on it. Like it's a huge performer, 2-3 sprays, absolute max. Don't be a jerk. Now in terms of the occasion, I made a big mistake in like late spring, early summer. I really wanted to wear this one because I just love the scent profile. So it was a bit of a warmer day and I'm just like, maybe I can get away with it. And I didn't get away with it. It was too much in the heat. It became very cloying. I'm sure, to me, I'm sure people around me it was very cloying as well. This does not do well in the heat for that reason. It just becomes absolutely nuclear in the heat. So this is definitely suited for cooler weather. So I'm telling you right now, I'm just warning you right now, if you wear this in the heat, it's gonna be way, way too much. It's gonna be too sweet, too cloying. I'd avoid it. I had a bad experience doing it, so Post Cologne's giving you an advisory here. So if you listen to me, don't overdo the sprays, don't wear it in the heat. Cool weather style fragrance, 2 sprays, maybe 3. So if you're into sweet style fragrances, if you're looking for something on the cheap, about $25, $40 with a beautiful scent profile, kind of smells like Ultramall, I definitely think you should be checking this one out. That's Afnan's 9 p.m. All right, so next up we're gonna move into kind of more of a woody style fragrance. If you've been following my channel for a little bit, this will come as no surprise. It's one of my absolute favorites from the house, and that is Lattafa Raghba Wood Intense. Now this one is an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this up for a ridiculous price. $25 for this, and the quality of juice in here is far beyond $25. This opens up with the most delicious smoky wood, burnt sugar, caramel, incense with a touch of oud I've ever smelled in my life. I absolutely love, oh, I can't stop smelling it. I love how this smells. It's like sitting by the campfire, roasting marshmallows on a like brisk, cool fall evening. chilling with your homies, having a great time. It just puts me in a fantastic mood when I wear this one. Absolutely gorgeous scent profile. Like I mentioned, it's got some like gaiac wood with some incense to give it kind of that smoky wood vibe, a caramel note, and an actual sugar note that's in there. So it smells like that caramelized burnt sugar mixed with some nice smoky woods. Absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Got some vanilla down in the base that kind of elevates that sweetness. As this opens up, like you get a little bit of more of the woods in the beginning, and then as this dries down, that woods and that sweetness kind of balance off. So it does become a little bit sweeter as this dries down, but not too much. It's a perfect balance. It's not overly sweet, it's not overly smoky or overly woods. Beautiful blend of all those notes coming together, just giving you that fall vibe in a bottle is basically what this is. With that touch of oud, there's not a lot of oud in there to my nose. I don't get a lot of oud, but it is there, and it's just a hint, just to get enough to give it kind of that little bit of that Middle Eastern vibe. But like I said, smoky woods, burnt sugar, caramel, gorgeous, gorgeous scent. Projection longevity on this, fantastic. I get 8-10 hours, no problem with longevity. Projection for the first couple hours, decent. It's not like a beast mode projector. It is a little bit more of an intimate scent, but it does push out fairly well before it settles in a little bit closer. But the performance on this, we're very, very happy with it, especially in the cool weather. It just feels warm, cozy, inviting. This is like a perfect date night fragrance, evening out fragrance. I wear this casually just because I love how this smells. Like this is just beautiful, beautiful scent profile on this. But you know, it may be kind of more of an occasion style fragrance, but it really depends on you and your personality. You could wear this formally. I don't know, I don't go out formally. I don't get dressed up and go out many places formally, mostly because I don't get invited, because maybe I'm not that fancy, but doesn't matter. I think this could be dressed up. I think this would be dressed down. Pretty versatile fragrance in terms of occasions, in my opinion. Bottom line is I love the scent profile on this. $25, this is worth triple that in my opinion. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Definitely think you should be checking this out. That's Lattafa's Raghba Wood Intense. All right, next up we get another sweet style fragrance, but this one's a little bit more on the vanilla side, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love this the first time I smelled it. It's getting a ton of hype in the community, and I think for great reason. It's Haramain's Detour Noir. Now, I am tempted to talk about how cheap and ugly this bottle is, but I'm not going to talk about how cheap and how ugly this bottle is, because it's what's on the inside that matters. That is the philosophy here at Post Cologne. It's what's on the inside that counts. And let me tell you, the juice in here is absolutely friggin' fantastic. I love how this smells. My only complaint is the opening. I'd say like the first 3 minutes of this is like all the notes take a detour. Like they all go off in their own separate direction and doing their own thing. And eventually they're just like, hey fellas, let's come together and make a really nice fragrance. And then things start to happen and the magic starts to unfold. But the first 3 minutes are just like, I don't know what's going on, but weird opening. But once it comes together, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love how this comes through. It's green apple with some vanilla, a little touch of some spice like a cardamom in there, and then a fresh pop of like some lavender, just give it like a little bit of freshness at the top. So good. It's just absolutely gorgeous. That green apple just sings in this fragrance for the opening all the way to kind of like the mid as it starts to dry down. In the dry down, you get a little bit more woods coming through and you get a little bit of amber coming through, and that amber really mixes with that vanilla and like, again, a touch of that sweetness from the green apple that does die down as it comes through. But at the base, the dry down of this is absolutely delicious, sexy, creamy vanilla. I love the vanilla that comes through in the dry down. It's probably one of my favorite vanilla dry downs of all of my fragrance collection. Everything in my fragrance collection, this is one of my favorite vanilla dry downs. It's absolutely delicious, sexy, sensual, like beautiful. I love how this dries down. Performance on this, pretty good. 8 hours, no problem. 10 if you get some on your clothes for sure. Projection for the first, I'd say 2-3 hours. Does push out fairly well, I'd say pretty good. And then it does settle in a little bit closer, but it maintains a beautiful scent bubble, nice sillage on this. People are definitely gonna smell you and you're gonna smell friggin' delicious because this stuff is a banger. I love how this smells. Definitely a cool weather scent. This is very much on the sweet side. So like hot weather, this will definitely become cloying. Like that green apple in this, like in a high heat will just start screaming. It's just so sweet and juicy. Don't think this will do well in the high heat. Definitely for the fall, definitely for the winter, cool sort of days, evenings out, date nights, perfect fragrance for that kind of situation. Absolutely love this one. If you haven't checked it out, you can pick this up for about $30 on places like Fragrance Buy. Again, links are gonna be down in the description for you to check this out if you're interested. Definitely think you should get your nose on it if you're into those sweet style fragrances and you really like a good vanilla fragrance. This is going to be for you. That's Haramain's Detour Noir. All right, so next up we have a more oud style fragrance, and this one caught me completely off guard when I first smelled it. I couldn't believe the quality of the juice. I couldn't believe how good this smelled. The oud was just perfect mixed with the notes. It just blew me away the first time I smelled this, and it's one of my favorite oud style fragrances, and that is Afnan Supremacy In Oud. Now this one kicks off, and this really surprised me. I was not expecting it when my first impression of this. I actually have a video of that. You can go check that out in the description below. I'll leave the link down there for my first impression of this. Really caught me off guard. It was like a blast of oud and the sweetness to it. The sweetness I wasn't quite expecting, but it was absolutely gorgeous. I loved how that mixed together. There's some sweet notes, some oud, some saffron, and some nutmeg. So the nutmeg just adds like a tiny bit of spice and a little bit of woodiness to it. The saffron in this it just makes everything kind of more lively. It just elevates that sweet notes and that oud and just makes things kind of like sparkle and dance together. It's a beautiful opening. I absolutely love how this smells, and that, like I said, that saffron just makes everything so lively and absolutely gorgeous. I love how the notes come together in the opening. This is a little bit more of the kind of medicinal style oud. So if you're familiar with oud fragrances, there can be kind of like animalic barnyard, more medicinal and more kind of woody style ouds. This one is a little bit more on the medicinal side, and I don't mind it. I happen to kind of enjoy that kind of medicinal style oud, especially in this scent profile, the way it mixes with the sweet notes, with that nutmeg kind of giving it that little bit of woodiness, and that saffron that just really makes things dance. Beautiful casual style fragrance that I definitely think you can wear on like a date night. You can wear this formally as well. Dress up, dress down. Cool weather fragrance, has fall written all over it. It's very warm, comforting, cozy, inviting. Sort of elegant with that mix of the oud and with that kind of nuttiness to it and those sweet notes in it. Beautiful scent profile. I love how this dries down. You get a perfect mix of that sweetness, perfect mix of that oud. It's just the quality of this juice, I can't say enough good things about it. It just absolutely blew me away. Price point on this is like $40, $45 for a 100 ml bottle. Unbelievable, the quality of juice for $40 or $45 on discounters. Again, I'm gonna have links down in the description if you wanna check this one out. Awesome fragrance. The projection longevity on this, easy 8-10 hours. You get some on your clothes, you're definitely gonna smell it well into the next day. Projection for the first like 3-4 hours, pretty heavy. Like this can be a room filler, so do take it easy on the sprays, kind of test it out a little bit. I'd say like 3 sprays and you're pretty much good to go. You will fill out a room. People will smell you with 2 or 3 sprays. So you, again, you've been warned. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. You're gonna choke people out. Monster performer, projection longevity, absolutely fantastic. Price point on this you can't beat, and the scent profile on this is absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't tried it, I suggest you do. That's Afnan Supremacy In Oud. All right, so next up, we're moving into more kind of a tobacco style fragrance. And I love me a good tobacco style fragrance, and this might be one of my favorite tobacco style fragrances. It's Haramain's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. Now, the best way I can describe this is like a dry tobacco leaf, freshly rolled cigar with like a little bit of cinnamon, some sweet notes into it, a touch of chocolate, and it's absolutely gorgeous. A little bit of clove mixed in there too. The clove is a very interesting one to me because it just gives it that little added personality to it, a little bit of a kind of a unique spice to it. But what you really get out of this is the vanilla, the tobacco with like a little bit of a chocolatey cacao vibe mixed in there with that cinnamon. Absolutely gorgeous scent profile. I love how this smells. This just smells like, it smells like a cigar lounge. It's like got that refined sense to it, but it's also got that kind of rugged masculine edge to it. You do get mostly tobacco at the very beginning of this, but as this dries down, more of that vanilla kind of comes through. You get a little bit more of that cacao, so like the sweetness does kind of elevate as this dries down. There's a dried fruit note in this, I believe, and so you do get, again, a little bit more of that sweetness that comes through, mixing with those spices, that clove, that cinnamon, and that tobacco note. Absolutely gorgeous tobacco style fragrance. I love smelling this one. Any chance I get to just walk by my shelf and I just pick this up and I just give it a whiff. Because it's beautiful. I love that I picked this up. And this is actually a recent pickup. I only got this maybe a month ago, maybe not even. And like I've been having to sneak in wears of this. I've been wearing it in the evenings, wearing it kind of like as a bedtime fragrance, and I absolutely love it. The projection longevity on this, really good. I get about 8 hours of longevity. Projection on this is good. I wouldn't say this is like a beast mode projector necessarily. This is kind of more like of an intimate style fragrance, but people are gonna smell you for the first couple hours. It does push out fairly well, and then it does settle in a little bit closer. But like I said, this is more of a sexy, intimate, date night style fragrance. You could definitely dress this up, but I'm gonna be wearing this casually because I love how this smells. You're gonna smell like a gentleman. You're gonna smell like a freshly rolled cigar with like some sweetness in it. Gorgeous. If you haven't checked it out, I highly suggest you do. $45, $55 on most discounters. Link in the description if you want to check this one out. That's Haramain's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. All right, last but certainly not least, one of my new favorites from this line. I'm so glad I picked this up. As soon as it came out, I grabbed this totally blind because of the presentation. I've talked about this several times. One of my favorites, it's Lattafa Pride Eternal Oud. Now, I've already done a full review on this. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to check this one out. But like, look at this presentation. Like, this is the reason I bought it, was just the presentation. And thank heavens that it was actually a really amazing, incredible fragrance, because I didn't want to just buy it for the presentation and it was crappy fragrance, because I lucked out. Beautiful fragrance. Plastic dome on this. I was a lucky one. This didn't crack. I've heard some stories about other people's cracking, but mine did not, so lucky me. Sits on this beautiful platform. Pop this bad boy out, nice metal tree on it. Not gonna drill in the presentation. You can go watch the full video if you wanna get into that. Atomizer on this, I have to show the atomizer. The atomizer is just gangster. Oof, pressurized atomizer. And the scent profile on this is just, every time I spray this, like my mouth is starting to water already. Beautiful, delicious vanilla with some plum nuts in there, some florals in the middle, like some heliotrope, some orchid. And in the base, as this dries down, oh, it's so good. I just smell it in the air. You get like more vanilla that comes through. It's just delicious, creamy vanilla with some rich plum to it and some like florals mixed in there. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. And I'm so glad I got this. This just has like niche quality level juice, and the price I paid for this, I got this for like $50 at Fragrance Buy. Again, I'll leave a link down in the description. It is hard to get your hands on because these are flying off the shelf when they do restock, so you can get yourself a notification from Fragrance Buy and other various discounters to let you know when they restock, because I definitely suggest you pick this up. Projection longevity on this, I got 8-10 hours, not a problem in terms of longevity. Projection, this doesn't like push out like a beast, but it does push out. People are gonna smell you, and it's a very soft, gentle, like I said, creamy vanilla with that rich plum. So it's not like an abrasive style fragrance. It's very gentle, very cozy, but like a nice scent bubble, a nice sillage on it. And it's just gorgeous and lasts a decent amount of time. Super great pickup. I'm so glad I got this. Definitely a cool weather style fragrance. It does have that sweetness to it that might be a little too much in the summer and the high heat, but definitely in the fall, definitely in the winter. This is where this one shines. And I cannot wait to wear this a whole bunch coming in the fall, coming in the winter. I think this is gonna be one of my go-to fragrances because I like this so much. Price point's right on point. Presentation's unbelievable. Again, Lattafa, my hat's off to you, Lattafa. You did such a good job in the presentation on this. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I definitely think you should be checking it out. That's Lattafa's Pride Eternal Oud. All right, so there you have it. That is a 5 and 1 bonus Middle Eastern fragrance that I cannot wait to wear this fall. Like, I legit cannot wait for cooler weather just to be more consistent so I can just start rocking these more and more. Like, doing this video, smelling all these fragrances, and I just cannot wait for the cool weather. There's incredible fragrances, a nice array of like sweet tobacco, oud, different kinds of sweet. It's just incredible. I love these fragrances. This list was really hard to make, and so these are definitely some of my favorites. Links are gonna be down in the description if any of these sounded like something you'd be into. And let me know, what are you into in terms of fall fragrances when it comes to the Middle Eastern houses? Like, what are some that you just cannot wait to wear? Leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing what you're wearing. I love hearing some recommendations of things I should be checking out. So go do that. Go click on the comment box, start typing. Let me know what you're gonna wear. Appreciate you. Can't wait to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.